Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this show. My name is Tom. As if you're watching, today I'm going to record a video about the local government councillors and local government administrative staff. Before that, when we say about government is an institution. It's an institution that sets rules, bylaws, come up with the initiative that protect the people, ensuring that people needs are met through the government, and people trust the government, and people serve the government. So this is normal when we talk about government. So when we talk about local government is we say the third tier of government. For example, in the context of my country, South Sudan, when you look at the government, the local government, we are looking at the states, we are looking at the municipal, we are looking at the counties, we are looking at the boroughs, we are looking at the villages that are, the payams, the villages, and we are looking at the blocks. But today I'm going to talk in the context of Uganda. As you know, Uganda government is where Uganda Matters University is, and I will be reflecting through this very important session as part of the modules that we attended in our course. So in Uganda is a democratic republic with a governance system comprising of national and the local government. The Constitution provides for a system of decentralization and local government, which is in further consolidated in the Local Government Act of 1997. In urban settings, there are city, municipal, division, town, ward, and councils. So this is how local government is divided in the urban settings. So when we look deeper in the rural settings, before that, in the rural settings, we see that there are districts. We have seen, for example, we have many districts, Arua districts, we have districts, you have districts in central Uganda, western Uganda, northern Uganda, to mention them as well. Also, you see that we have sub-counties. We have counties, which are the administrative units that we are going to talk about. And then we have the sub-counties, and then we have the councils, we have the parish councils, and the village councils. So when we just talk briefly, we say the Local Government Act provides for a minimum of 30% of council seats to be reserved for the women and for the women. So women are also so fundamental. They are so instrumental in our local governance. This is always taken into consideration to see that there is gender equity, representation of everyone in the government that we are running. We'll look briefly into what are the roles, what are the differences in roles of local government councillors and local government administrative staff. We'll also look into what are the similarities, what are done in common for this local government staff and among local government administrative staff and the local council, the councillors. Also, we'll also touch any issues that are related, that are very, very important, very, very crucial to a local government setup. So we go straight. We look into past the local government councillors. We say these two words, councillor and the administrative. We councillors, local government councillors, they are in most in most cases, they are part of the legislative in the local government, whereas the local government administrative staff, they are part of the executive. So when we go into what councillor is, we say a councillor, this is always representatives of the people in their electoral areas. They are the people's voices in their councils, and they are the watchdogs. They see through what really happened, what is happening down the people, the citizens, on ground, as well as the overseers of the electoral areas. This means that the first requirement is that the councillor is a person who is one way or in another is connected with the locality. So they bond. The most obvious provision laid down by the law is that the councillor will be qualified if he is a local elector for the area of authority. So should be a local person to qualify, because he or she is going to represent the views of the people down. The most obvious provision laid down by the law is that also the councillor will be qualified if he or she is a local elector, so should come from the community, from the area of his or jurisdiction where he is representing. To be a candidate, also one must have a domicile in one electoral will division in which he or she seeks an election. So the principle that councillors should have a sufficient connection with the locality may be met by other provisions. In some territories, a person is qualified or he or she is a native of that place. So when we look at the principle that the councillor should have a sufficient connection with the local locality may be met by other provisions. How? In some territories, a person is qualified, and then we see that there's a course of far easier to work, a system depending on an official list like that of the electors, than it is to be independent on qualification. That may be difficult to establish or hard to check when they are asserted. So we look at this point. It's really very important. So you must be someone who is within, someone connected to the natives. So you can't be representing and you're very far. You don't know what the natives is all about. So we look differ into the roles of a councillors. What is the difference between the local councillors and then the administrative staff? We look at the side of what local councillors does. So as a councillors in Uganda, for example, of course their duties is to maintain close contact with the electoral areas, of consulting the people on issues to be discussed in council. So these issues always, this councillor collects information, collects concerns, collects voices of the people that he or she is representing, presenting people's views, opinions, and proposals to the council. Councillors do not only present their own opinions, but only what the electorate is saying. So we are not there to represent our own views as a councillor. So we try as much as possible to present these proposals, these opinions, these views expressed by the citizens, and we are their voice, the voices of the minority. So we also see that attending council session and the committee meetings as policy makers, the policies are made in these council meetings. So as for us to make policies in these meetings, we try our best to see that we attend these meetings and we be part of the policy making, discussing about these policies, formulations. I never say that we approve, but this point may come. So meeting the people in the electoral area regularly. Meeting the people in the electoral area regularly. What does that mean? We make sure that people are always, we come in, we try to find facts What is the concern? What is going on? We observe, we listen. For example, there's this example of a tourist who went to the park. He was coming, he wanted to know what is happening in the park. So when he was going through the roads, he was seeing animals, he was seeing plants, he was seeing other things, he was taking the pictures, and then he went on and have a project that this is what he found on ground, without asking, without going and asking what is happening, what could be the problem, what is going on well, what do they need. You see, so this point is really very, very critical, that we don't need to be a rural tourist that always goes and is by the roadside, sees that there is dust, he never wanted to darten himself or herself, and then just in the car takes pictures and gets back to the town and he says, this is what I get from the people. Please, as a counselor, you need to make contact with your people. Reporting to the electoral the decisions of the councillors and the actions taken to solve problems. These problems that were raised, we need to take back the PD back, the information. What is the status? Are the people, the electoral people who elected us, are they receiving PD back? We have seen that people are elected to the councils, even others are elected to be members of parliament, but they forget the people who elected them, under whose seats that you are sitting. So we need to take into serious consideration our people who takes us, who we went through their ticket to the council, who present their voice, giving back. This shows accountability, this ensures transparency. So we also need to maybe take part in communal and development activities in their electoral areas and the district as a whole. We should not be sitting in our offices, in our where we are. Though we say in the local governments, we say councillors, they are part-timers. Sorry, but we make sure that councillors should take part in initiatives, communal development activities that are in their jurisdictions. So this is very, very crucial. Later on, we look into what are the similarities, what are in common that these two councillors, with these two what things that we are going to discuss, that we are discussing today, the councillors and then the local administrative. What are in common? What are the similarities? But before that, we will look through what the administrative staff is all about. So when we look at the administrative unit, we already mentioned so far that we say in rural areas we have the county, we have the parish, we have the villages, and in the parish, in the urban side, we have the parishes, we have the wards, we have the villages. So we look into what what is called the administrative unit councils composed. We say at the level of a member, at the level of all the members of the sub-county executives in the county, this is one of it. We say at the parish level, all the members of the village executive committees. We also say at the village level, all the persons of 18 years of age above resident in the village. This is composition of administrative unit councils. So this is given in general. Now we look differ into what we call the functions of an administrative unit council. What are these administrators doing? What are their role? What is the difference? And remember we said in the beginning that the difference is that these are appointed. They are appointed by the district chairperson commission, and for the councillors, they are reported. They are going through the tickets. Okay, so here we look into the functions of an administrative council. What do they do? So we have seen that they draw the attention of the district chairperson, the chief administrative officers, and the assistant chief administrative officers at the county level or the chief at the parish level to any matter that arises their concern and interest. They really need, they are trying their best to bring into attention these issues. So we also look at the county level to advise the area's members of parliament on all matters pertaining to the county. So we, as an administrative staff, our role is to try our best to, at our level, we advise these area members, the members of parliament, on these matters pertaining our county. There are many matters pertaining county. We need to do development. We need to have budgets. We need to have finances. We need to have a lot of things. We need to have health. We need to have roads. We need to have very good housings and so. So how do we ensure that our participation is heard through we give these advices? So at the county and the parish level, to resolve problems and disputes referred to be by relevant sub-county or village council, this is their role. They really need to look into these issues. Issues are raised, people sit on them, people put under their offices. We are supposed to resolve, we are to respond to all these disputes and settle them amicably. As an administrative, we make sure to resolve problem identified at that level. So at what level we make sure these problems are resolved. When the problem are identified, what is the problem? There must be, for example, maybe there is a problem of bridges. There's problem of whatever. So there's problem of health issues. There are problem of, so we need to respond. We need to respond and make sure this problem identified are resolved. We also ensure that we assist in the maintenance of law, order, and security. As the administrative staff, we ensure that there is always maintenance of law, there is stability in security, and we also carry out any functions that may be assigned to it by a district council or higher local government council, and to carry out any other function conferred by law or incidental to the above. This is the role of administrative staff at the local government level. As we already discussed about what the local government does, in the local councillors does, what are their roles. So this is two-way differences between the administrative staff and then the local government. Before we conclude, we say we wanted to tackle briefly about what are the similarities of these people. So we so far have mentioned that as the local government, we have our roles, we have different roles that normally brings us together, much as we do our parts as a councillor, as the administrative staff. But when it comes to finances, we are involved. When it comes to bylaws, protecting the constitution, it is our responsibility. We need to protect this the constitution of Uganda. Ensure that we all fully have ensure implementation and compliance with the government policies. Whether they are policies, we all take into account as both. So we also need to come into agreements. We know we work in the same government, but we work in coordination. So we try as much to coordinate, to see that whatever the necessary resources are made available for the exercise for those functions and power, services and responsibilities are appropriate. Measures are taken to bring change to the attention of the public. So always we do our best to see that we in the local government, we agree, we coordinate, and we collaborate. This is so far what in common. So we see that always we come together and we try our possibility to see that as we serve the people, the people benefit from the services, their voices are listened, and whenever decisions that we discuss are in favor of the people. This is when we are ensuring a local government that is serving the people, not a local government that is not serving the people, that need reforms. So from this video, let me hope you have got something about the local councillors and then the local administrative staff. If you have any question, you have any queries, any comment, you can write down on the chat, and then we'll respond to you. And from this time, as I said, my name is Tom. Of course, I am a student of local governance and the human rights, and this is my YouTube channel. You can always subscribe and watch. Hope we improve in our content to serve your learning purpose, to serve your interest to watch my video. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.